Hey there everyone, and welcome to Corey Loses, where today we're going to be starting a new playthrough in Thrawn's Revenge Imperial Civil War 2.2. So this is going to be our final preview playthrough. We've been playing through, for anyone who is new here, a lot of the different GCs as every different faction throughout the last year and a half of development. So in addition to running this channel, I'm also the lead developer of the mod. So when I'm doing these playthroughs, I'm usually talking about it from more of a perspective of what goes into the development of the mods and where we'd like to take it in the future. So we're going to be playing the Empire's End GC as the Imperial Remnant. This was something that I had everyone vote on, I think in like November, so several months ago now, and I've basically spent the last few weeks, along with the rest of the team, trying to get the beta ready for starting. It was supposed to start yesterday, but there were a few things that came up that I wasn't able to solve in time, which is why this video is also getting put up a little late. So after I record this, I'm going to go straight back to working on the beta and getting that ready. But anyways, we are going to play through this whole GC. So this is an Air Progressive Galactic Conquest where it's pretty much the entire galaxy except for the unknown regions. So there's about 140 planets. This is actually the older description from 2.15, but it should give us a good idea of how air progression works in 2.2. We played Art of War as the Pentastar alignment a few months ago, but there were a few issues with air progression in that. Hopefully we don't run into those issues again. But do keep in mind while you are watching that this is, even though we're very close to release, this is still a work in progress. There's still a lot of testing to be done, a lot of balancing to be done, a lot of bugs to hunt out. So let's just get into it. We're going to play on Admiral as the Imperial Remnant, like I said. And we're going to take a look at our galactic situation. One thing I will say is that there are a few more neutral planets than we would typically have in this scenario right now. I'm kind of waiting until we can see what load times are like with most people before trying to fill them up too much, because generally the other factions and the player will be able to grab them. But anyways, I'll get back to that in a second. So Sate Pestage says, the rebels have been making inroads in our territory, and some of our own commanders have decided to abandon their duties, though they claim otherwise. I leave it to you to reunite my empire. The warlord filth are no different from the rebels. Ensure the empire is victorious on all fronts. Alright, so, like I said, still going to be some missing text and that kind of thing. But let's take a quick pause here and look through the galaxy. So like I said, a few neutral planets. You have like Sauce Beacon here, Ojam, Chalceddy. And the bigger the GC, the more starting planets you have, the longer it'll take to load. I have a pretty good computer, so I'm not as concerned about it for myself. But we want to get a few more benchmarking tests on other computers and just see how that works before we start filling in some of these other planets. But there are some areas like the Capes Consortium, which is more over here, so you can see any planets between the transitory mists, where it's an emergent faction. So you can't actually get into the transitory mist or any of these planets yet. And a little while into the campaign, I can't remember what the exact timer is for the Hapens. They'll spawn in and they'll become a faction. And then also over here you have the Duskin League, who in Era 5 will become active. You can actually choose to play as them, in which case they're available from the start. But when you're not playing as them, they come in at Era 5. Well, we'll just take a quick look throughout the rest of the galaxy here. So we're fairly central. We have a lot of early options for expansion. There are a few planets, like I said, that we can just grab for free if we're fast enough. But there's also some of our less defended planets along our borders here. We're more defended in the core. So up in the northwest, we have the Pentastar alignment, which is fairly well entrenched. And we have Warlord Zinj over here. We have the Greater Maldrude in this area. They don't have a huge amount of starting territory in this GC. Then you have the New Republic. You have more New Republic down here. And they're sort of split with the Uradu Authority. Generally, the New Republic will win this in the early campaign for this particular GC, at least. So we'll likely be fighting a lot of New Republic, especially later on in the GC. What I would like to do first is focus on taking out some of these other Imperial factions. We'll reunite the Empire, and then we'll get to the southern half with the New Republic. Because we control a straight line from the far right of the galaxy. The maw is locked currently. It's not going to be open until Era 4. So we have Honoghr to Kessel, Kashyyyk, down into Kuwat, Coruscant. And that pretty much locks them out of being able to get through there. So these planets are probably going to be under pretty heavy attack by the New Republic after they establish themselves down here. So we'll figure out what to do with that about that later. But one final thing before we get into conquering the galaxy, like usual, I have made like with the last few Thrawn's Revenge playthroughs, and something that I'd like to do in other Empire at War mods going forward when we do playthroughs, I have allowed the patrons of Coriolis's to pick some ships for themselves. So give a specific ship name to ships. So you can see we have right here Tender B6 Ace of Hearts. We have Last Resort. We have Terror Squadron. Hold on, where's Kuad? But yeah, so there's a bunch of different patron ships in right now. I've only got about half of the ones that were requested coded in because of all the delays with the beta. But for anyone who is interested in becoming a patron and having a ship named after them or picking a ship name, there's more information on that in the description. So we're going to be using a lot of those going through. There's fewer error restrictions on those just because it's way too complex to code that many different variants with all that locking and unlocking. But yeah, so those are what we're going to be using going forward, or a lot of those. And just because this always comes up, these are only in for the playthrough. They're not going to be in the final release of the mod. So these are only going to be present when I'm doing these playthroughs here on the channel. It's not something that you're going to see when you're playing. I'm going to do a tutorial on how to add them if you want your own in your own version of the game. But just to clarify that. And people have also been able to pick their own fighter loadouts here. But let's get started here. So we have a few planets that can get pretty high in infrastructure. So we're going to try to grab a lot of these empty planets first. And I'm assuming that the same is going to be happening with our rivals there. Yeah, so you can see Higoria was taken.
Moving to sector.
System control achieved.
And
Beginning construction.
I'm gonna try to move some of our forces up to the northern border. We don't have a huge amount of money right now. I'm gonna try to build a couple more tax collection agencies, and you'll see actually through this playthrough you should see a lot more different companies. So this was something that we introduced, I believe, in 2.15, where you could buy specific company headquarters, and that would allow you to get discounts on different stuff. And we typically only had one company per faction, but now we're trying to put in a lot more. Jorit's been working on that quite a bit recently, so you should see a lot more stuff like that pop up. Let's try to get a bit more fortified in this area. Arinda, I don't want to get a... Oh. So, Isar, if you've yet to hear of me, I'm Asan Isar, Director of Imperial Intelligence. As you've pledged yourself to the service of Pestage, you know as well as I do that he is unsuitable to lead our empire. I'm planning his removal, should you wish to assist. This can be done with or without you, but your assistance will certainly expedite the process. Pestage will be mine, and after him, the empire of my master. Nothing will stop me. Alright, so this is one of our newer branching, or not really branching, but you have different ways to progress through the eras right now. So we can complete Project Ambition before Coruscant falls or St. Pestage dies, and that'll give us Isan as well as a bunch of other heroes. If we don't complete the voluntary version, then we don't get those extra heroes. And then there's also, if we take too long, then Isard will do it on her own, and then we also won't get those extra heroes. But that's about 100 weeks. So we have a fair amount of time. I'm going to do the voluntary ones, I think, for every single one, because they're the newest way to do it. And we'll just try to take a look at how all the eras progress that way. But what I'd like to do other than that is... I want to try to stay in each era for at least like 5 episodes. I'm assuming we're going to be like 35, 40 episodes, but... Okay, so they're down there. Let's get
construction complete.
This going here. And
Constructing.
I'm gonna try to build up. Let's get Spartan's Pride. We're gonna try to build up some of our patrons when we can.
Departure vector set.
Chandrilla.
Building started. System conquered.
It's going to take a little bit longer for us to get established in this GC than we normally would take, just because there are so many open planets for us to go through.
We're moving
Oh, it looks like we actually got there before
Order acknowledged.
before they built up anything. So let's get
Construction
an
complete.
invasion force over to Ord
On my way,
Mantell.
Cal.
Carrick en route.
Construction
And we'll
complete.
try to take like Darkon and Wistral. If we can go all the way up to the north here and then make our way through the galaxy that way, that would be my
Construction
ideal
complete.
situation, I think. What's going on here? You can see a lot of just neutrals going on. But you do have some fighting between Zinj and the Pentastar alignment.
TIE Defender standing by.
There is a TIE Defender standing by. So the rest of the requested patrons, if anyone had their ship request in and they don't see it on the build bar, don't worry. That's all going to be in for the next episode. It won't take too long for me to do. I just was running out of time for last night. Let's get
Vehicle in
Ace of Hearts
production.
and Last Resort, and we'll grab
Construction complete.
Peregrine's Nest. I basically coded it in the order that it was requested, so.
Move out.
System conquered.
You know what, let's go for
We shall be there
Wistral
shortly.
first.
Construction
That was my ground
complete.
units. Why did I do that? No, that wasn't. Okay, thank God. Those were just Carracks in the thing.
Tactical battle imminent.
Alright, so we got a couple Star Destroyers here. But yeah, so the closed portion of the beta is starting today. It was supposed to start yesterday, but there was an issue with like single unit retreat, I think it was, and I had to do a lot of skirmish work that I wasn't expecting to have to do yesterday. So that's why that was delayed. And then the open portion should be in about 2 weeks.
Choose your
I'll talk about it in the playthrough when we get to that point. So don't worry about missing that if you're watching the playthrough or you're checking the news posts and stuff. You'll definitely see when it happens. Oh God, there's like 5 Star Destroyers here. But yeah, so our plan is still to release on March 28th, and we don't think that that's unreasonable. There's nothing that's come up that makes us think that we won't be able to hit that.
Enemy forces ahead.
But like I said at the start of the playthrough, you'll probably still see a couple things that we need to work on as we go through the playthrough here, and I'll try to point them out as they come up.
Heading out.
Like there's still a bunch of events within the eras that we would like to
Light speed.
edit a bit more. So that's multi-layer in action, I think.
Star Destroyer standing by.
So yeah, there's some things like the flagships for certain leaders, specifically Dala and Pelion. There's certain events that will switch them. Right now, we just have Dala and Gorgon, and Pelion in the Chimera.
Moving to coordinates.
But by the time the full release happens, there'll be a lot more options for that, or not a lot more options, but there'll be different events that you can do that'll switch. For example, Dala to Night Hammer, and Pelion will go from Reaper to Chimera, depending on what's happened and what's not happened in the campaign, and there'll be different criteria for that. So I'll try to talk about that when they come up in the playthrough, but they won't be implemented in time for the playthrough, I don't think. Well, they're not implemented right now, but by the time we get to
Target priority
those
installation
eras,
Target locked.
they're starting to move this one
Roger
around.
that. Open fire. Attack that target.
Interceptor squad report.
I'm hoping the New Republic does fairly well against
Commencing attack run.
the warlords in the south, because we don't typically fight against them. Like in our Pentastar Alignment playthrough, we ended up mostly fighting terrible little Maldruid fleets by the end. So hopefully that's something that's been mitigated. I think it should have been. I think that in this setup, Warlord Zinj will do fairly well too. So I'd expect that
Star Destroyer.
if we're focusing on fighting the PA,
Priority installation.
then
Under control.
it'll be Zinj against
Watching. He's coming around.
Zinj against Maldruid down in the other
Headed
sections.
your direction.
Come on.
I got it. Returning to your
I'm
position.
gonna try to jump you out to see how that goes.
Nowhere to run.
All stations on standby.
Unable to shake them. Intercepting. Narrowing position. I'll take care of this.
Crews make ready.
Okay. It's gone, and we'll see if the rest of the script is working for that.
Getting a lock. Falling out of
Direct
formation.
fire on the enemies. Heading to destination.
Target.
The other thing that I would like to do during this playthrough that I'm not sure if we'll be able to is use boarding a bit more in Era 2, so when Thrawn's the leader.
Engaging the enemy.
So we have a new ability in the mod where you can actually capture enemy ships within a certain range. So we'll try to get that going during the playthrough at some point if we can. There's still some work being done on it, which is why I'm not sure if it'll be something we can show off in the playthrough. And I'm not sure which scripts related to it would be save file compatible. So even as we make some changes during the playthrough, there does come a point where I'm not able to continue showing off exactly how stuff is going, because the save files in Empire at War, if you, well, really any game, if you edit too much and it tries to load something from a previous version, then you can run into issues, and
We'll be there shortly.
it's usually okay if it's like stat changes or something, and we're going to be doing a lot of balance changes during the time of the playthrough, so that's going to be
Roger that. We've got them on scopes.
that is, hold on, that should all be able to be something that should all be something we're able to show off as we go. But with stuff like boarding, when it's loading a different script version, that can be a bit more iffy. Okay, so we lost this right cruiser, but we took out a Vindicator and 5 ISD, so that's, I'm willing to take that. Let's get these guys over here. We'll take Wistrel first, and then we'll go back forward Mantell and Oberdan. But let's grab
Beginning
this.
construction.
And did we get an HV? Yeah, we did start building the HV gun there. I'm going to build a heavy factory. I'm going to try to turn Orinda into more of a production facility, and same with Q-Trick if we can.
Building started.
Which means if we're going to try to invest a lot into Q-Trick, we're not going to be able to, or we're going to have to be careful not to lose Thrawn. We'll have to go voluntarily into Era 3, which can be very
Construction
expensive.
complete.
But let's get
Constructing
indefatigable
unit.
and
Construction complete.
have that ready for our next space battle. So we don't have a huge amount of heroes right now. For ground, there are a few that we're adding that just aren't in
Construction
currently on this
complete.
playthrough.
Building under construction.
But really, Isard doesn't have, or Pestage and Isard don't have too many ground heroes. So let's get, I'm going to send Pestage back to Coruscant. Let's get you back over here.
Transport cleared.
We'll get the discount. But I want to send, I want to have as much of a
My way, sir.
invasion force as we can get. And I'm kind of afraid that the PA is going to attack when
Construction
we're blockading
complete.
this planet, so you know what, they only have the one structure. What map is this?
Tactical battle imminent.
Oh.
Construction
Okay.
complete.
There we go. Okay, we've got this fleet of Rocco.
Construction
Let's move them over. So we'll get Terror Squadron up here. We'll send them
Let's
into
go.
Ord Mantell. And we'll start building up our main
Tactical
fleet
battle
here.
imminent.
Okay. This is what I was afraid of. I should have just invaded. I can't remember if I got those scripts plugged in for the AI to use interdictors yet. If they are in, then we might be in trouble. Would not be good if we lose this entire fleet this early on. So the AI in the game will always want to clear any blockaded planets before anything else.
Squadron standing by.
Ooh, a raid fleet. This could be good for us. It means we can't retreat anyways right now, but
Destroyer here.
We've
Right
located
away.
the enemy.
Copy. Moving out.
Ready for battle.
I'm just gonna send these interceptors in to
Scopes are jammed. I've been hit.
scout
Where
it
are the
out.
others? Shields almost gone.
Ugh,
Sensor malfunctioning. Blasted scum. Cover me
raiders. Okay, it doesn't look like they have an interdictor. Oh, yes, they do.
now. Watch for enemy ships.
There's one in right
Go
now.
after them. Losing power.
Um,
Regroup. I'm hit.
On deck.
I'm gonna try to send a
Squad, move
Master
in.
frigate ready. Moving out.
small strike team up there. Let's get
Landing
our
ready.
these guys
Arrival imminent.
into that. We're not going to be able to win this battle,
The nebula is
but we can try to take advantage of the raid fleets
All gun
and take out that interdictor before we can go anywhere. Yeah, I once heard a very wise, annoying rebel soldier VO
ready.
say that, so must be true. It actually looks like they're gonna escort it up here too.
Gun batteries fired.
So, ooh, it's a lot of stuff.
Reporting. Commander on deck. Ahead full. Lock weapons.
Precursors have had a bit of a buff since the last playthrough too. Alright, we got a Dreadnought over here, we got some Carracks. Munificent's not gonna be a threat. Let's just get straight past it,
Come about.
take out the gravity well generator. Right now, I'm not interested in finding out if the script is working. It's a decent sized raid fleet, but they're going right into a Praetor. So, alright, that's good. You guys need to get out of here.
Gun batteries ready. Stations on standby.
It's been a brief. So I don't know why I sent the Taunt Falcons. I think they were just in range when I selected stuff. But
Nowhere to run.
alright.
I can't switch position. Cover me now. Watch for
That Praetor will just absolutely destroy those guys, so I think they just swapped out some of their units too. Did we notice, did it say
Preparing for jump.
when we got out of that battle? It should have said up in the top left, where our, what was it? Was it a strike cruiser that we jumped out, where it went? I wasn't paying attention. Or I wasn't looking for that specifically. God, that's unfortunate. I probably could have saved a lot more of those units, but I didn't want to risk just sending in too few for
Star
that.
Destroyer
Tactical
reporting in.
battle imminent.
Of course. Of course. You have something to report? Speaking of VO, some of those have started to filter the way into the mod. So Waylawful has been working on getting a lot of the older ones that we already had sorted out, and then internally we're already recording some new ones. We're not quite at the point where we're going to be taking like open submissions for it. There are a few people who we're still working with
There they are.
to get recorded. We're mostly working on writing everything right now. And then a little bit after, I think it's probably going to be about a month from now, we'll put out like an open call with instructions on how to apply if you want to be a voice actor, or how to submit stuff if you want to do some voice acting in the mod. Because it's one of the more common questions, and it's certainly one of the area. Ooh, this is Jarek's only a ground unit right now, so this isn't the Vengeance. This is just Jarek. If we can take out Jarek, that'd be great in space. They might try to retreat because it's ground units, but yeah. So VO has always been one of the areas where the mod's been lacking, just because we haven't really had someone to focus on it. But now that we do, we're gonna have a lot more of that coming in. So Way's been editing some of the older ones. He's been writing some scripts and working with people to get those recorded. And then once it's all recorded, once he's settled in, we're going to have the open calls. So we'll put that up on the forums when it's ready. There's some Star Destroyers here. It looks like that's the station up here and the Star Destroyer down there. It's a bit harder to tell with those icons right now.
Choose your
Anywho.
reinforcements.
Receiving orders. Active. Squadron moving out.
Our priority is going to be getting all the units done that are in both Ascendancy and Imperial Civil War.
Received.
Just because that's
The enemy is approaching.
more useful to us. Ooh, Jarek has decided to park in a Praetor. So let's get prepared for this.
Order confirmed. Coming about. Destination confirmed.
Increase to flank. Ahead full. Helm ahead full.
Navigating. I copy.
What we really want from this is just a good amount of fighters.
Increase to flank.
Reinforcements cancelled.
Now, Carracks have good ion cannon damage, so let's
Understood.
get them in, and we'll put some strike cruisers in the back.
Increase to flank.
I believe they have slightly longer
At
range.
maximum unit capacity.
Alright. Well, looks like he's turning towards the base, so once we get within a certain range, he's going to start turning around. But for now, he is not, so we might be able to get in a few free shots.
Reporting in.
I think this is the Praetor from the fleet that just drove us off, because when our ground units got into that stack, the
Star Destroyer reporting in.
Praetor wasn't there anymore.
Attack commencing.
Okay, it's starting to come around here.
Ready for command, sir. Changing course to intercept.
Yes, Commander.
Ready for orders.
Alright,
Awaiting.
this is just a regular TIE Defender squadron? Or is that Terran?
Awaiting
Defenders
your
ready.
Eliminating target. Closing on target.
Awaiting your command. Attack.
Coming
Fire.
back around for another run.
Open
Purple.
fire.
It's weird.
Gunship reporting.
Pursuing enemy forces.
Your command, sir.
Mostly
Attack
done with
that
the shields.
Commander. Attacking target.
We've lost a fair bit of certainty
Batteries
there.
online. Taken out our launch base.
Gonna have some uncertainty soon.
Reporting in. Our target priority is the laser cannons. Weapons
I would
ready.
rather... Hold on.
Direct
Turbo
fire at their
laser.
laser cannons. The lasers
Turbo
are our
laser.
target. Yes, sir.
You know, we're not gonna be able to get it down fast enough, so
Target those lasers.
I don't really need to do
Our
this.
primary engine system is down. Target at maximum
Anything with power to weapons, though, you can do that. We have a fair amount of frigates that have single unit retreat. Let's actually
Prepare for jump to
get this Carrack
hyperspace.
out of here, just to see if the notification pops up and tells us where it went.
Ready to receive orders.
Are you not leaving? Let's try with another one.
Preparing for jump to light speed.
Copy that.
That one? Nope. Alright, I'll have to look into that again.
Our launch bay is gone. Affirmative.
What are your orders? Command.
Calculating jump to light speed.
Engaging the enemy.
Carrack commander here.
Form up. Attacking.
All stations.
Oh well.
Destroyer here.
I'll have to look at that
Targeting.
again and see what's going on there.
Form up. Commencing attack run.
Copy. Firing.
Excellent. Target critical.
Engaging the enemy.
The enemy has been defeated.
Okay, we lost an IC2, but we took out Jarek and a Praetor, so that's good. I'm good with that. Now let's get our ground units in here.
Destination set.
And in we go.
Invasion commencing.
Okay, so they hadn't actually built
Building
anything
under
there. That's good.
construction.
They did build something on Wistro. I think they just haven't had enough time in some of these planets to, or money, to build everything at once. So they are taking quite a few things. See how they're doing down here. Regular Fondor. They took Skarl. That was an open planet, I think. But let's move these guys in here. I'm gonna send them up to Darkon,
Around.
and I'm gonna send these guys into
Heading to
Oberdan.
destination.
Tactical battle imminent.
Okay, so not much there. We do know they have a giant fleet floating around somewhere, but this planet is fairly cut off. It's all behind our lines, so they won't be able to relieve it.
Comlink active.
Right away.
Choose your reinforcements.
Moving out.
The enemy has been spotted.
Setting up my run.
This will just be a
We're on
quick
our
one.
way. We're moving out.
Carrack en route.
I would like to try the ability again and see.
Reporting.
Preparing for jump to
He's about
light
to be
speed.
destroyed.
I copy.
Under control. He's headed your direction. Narrowing position. Tightening up. Let's finish him. Watch him. He's coming around. Unable to shake them.
Reporting.
Enemies in
Roger that.
returning to your position.
Bombs
I'll
away.
take care of this. Watch your back.
We are victorious.
What are your orders?
It's not good.
Star Destroyer standing.
Alright. Will they have built anything here, though?
On my way, sir.
Tactical battle imminent.
That's going to be similar, so. They haven't established a fleet in a lot of these planets.
Construction
Map
complete.
is this? Not a huge one.
Invasion commencing. Constructing.
Okay.
Destination set.
Tactical battle imminent.
Okay, list. We're actually starting to make it in down south here. What I'm gonna do for this, I'm gonna build a
Building
capital shipyard
started.
there. Let's get
Vehicle in production.
oh, did I
Unit
not limit it?
cancelled.
Well, we're not gonna be able to defend that anyways. We'll have to add build limits to the patron units, I think.
Unit in production.
Yeah. Oops.
Unit in production.
My bad. We have Indefatigable and Peregrine's Nest. Let's move them down
Construction complete.
down to
Move
camp.
out.
That's where the New Republic's gonna have access into our territory. So let's
Construction
do that. Let's
complete.
get a hypervelocity gun. And
Construction
send these
complete.
guys up
Be there
here.
shortly.
We'll move these guys
On
around
my
here.
way,
So
sir.
hopefully they don't attack in the time that we're at
System conquered. Constructing.
we're over Darkon here. What's the map on Darkon? This is base game something or other. So we're more powerful than the New Republic, so probably pretty high up there.
Construction complete. Construction
Looks like
complete.
Maldrude made a little bit of headway in this direction.
Star
I
Destroyer
want to move some of
reporting
this stuff over to Kashyyyk,
Beginning
and
construction.
we can try to go into
Constructing.
Maldrude's territory on our own. Didn't mean to grab those stormtroopers, but whatever. Alright. Ground units are at Darkon.
Invasion commencing.
Reporting.
Choose your reinforcements.
Destination set. Heading out.
I
On my
don't think
way.
they're going to have too many defensive units here, but let's I'm still going to grab a sensor node so we can check that out.
Reporting.
We'll get the AT-AT walking
Acknowledged.
across. So let's
Sensor node
Yes,
constructing.
Commander.
see if the ability's plugged in
Deploying
right now.
stormtroopers.
Construction complete.
Ready. Enemy unit sighted.
AT-AT ready.
Alright, so we can
Destination
pretty safely go across here.
set. Brigade standing by. Armor ready. Rolling out. Just give me a target. Moving to position.
Hold on.
Tank brigade ready. Moving. Let's roll. Yes, sir.
All right, men, take
Engaging
cover.
enemy. Armor transport ready. Affirmative.
You guys are too far up.
New coordinates.
Well, let's hit the,
Unit
Scanning
destroyed.
target.
I don't suppose any of you actually want to shoot that? Why is it so...
Roger that.
taking
On
so
my
little
way.
damage?
Unit
Hold on.
destroyed.
Reporting in.
I didn't think we
On my
buffed
way,
the
Cap.
Hellfires.
Order acknowledged.
At
Heading out.
maximum unit capacity.
Roger that. Form up. Target acquired.
Our
Commencing
base is
attack.
under attack.
Awaiting
Taking
your
so much
orders.
fire.
Destroyed.
Weapons armed. Support fire ready. Walker moving to attack. The big targets are ours.
Unit
Targeting
destroyed.
at maximum firepower. Cannons charged. Charge.
Unit destroyed.
Attack. Scanning.
So many Hellfires.
Fire. Open fire.
Alright, I'm gonna have to nerf them, probably even between episodes, because I didn't think they'd had that much health right now. I'm not sure
Destroyed.
when that buff happened,
Attack
because
that
I
target.
didn't think I did that.
Unit destroyed.
Alright, so we're not gonna win this. A lot of ground forces done. I knew their damage was still too high. I didn't think they were that hardy, though. They're not supposed to be. There's a lot of Hellfires, too. Alright, so we probably won't be able to do that right now. Let's
Putting coordinates.
let's fall back
Right
for
away.
now until we can effectively deal with that.
Building started. Building
Get
started.
that. You know what? Let's
Vehicle in production.
grab some probe droids. We'll move you guys up here, because you're the way in.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
And I'm gonna move some of you guys over to Kashyyyk.
Moving out.
Construction complete.
Let's move everyone
Tactical
over.
battle imminent.
Yeah, because they're just gonna go up to that way.
Barracks
No,
destroyed.
I'm just gonna leave them on camp. Which ones do we have here? Arrogance Nest, Indefatigable,
Unit
It's
in
all in
production.
Vow.
Constructing unit.
So let's check Wistril, and we'll check Jägerminer. A lot of the ground balancing is still sort of the main thing I have to do. Or like the biggest thing we have to do.
Construction complete.
Can we cut those off?
Construction.
Be okay with cutting them off. They might immediately attack, which is not ideal, but
Heading out.
if we can get both of our fleets in there.
Tactical battle imminent.
There's a Secutor. I think they were still trying to reinforce that.
Carrot Commander here.
Raid
Understood.
fleet. But I think we should be able to take out the
Choose your
Secutor before the raid
reinforcements.
fleet actually gets in here.
Look, sir, it's them.
Yeah, it is them. Alright, we can just jump on it while it's trying to head back to the station.
Fallout. Let's move out. Let's go.
Reinforcements cancelled.
Moving to coordinates. Order confirmed.
Intercepting. Getting a lock. Closing on
formation.
target. Pursuing enemy forces.
Star Destroyer reporting in. Yes, Commander.
Alright, so it's gotta be an issue with the
Our
generic
target
game
fire
object
is the
script.
laser cannons. Awaiting orders.
Because some of the ships aren't spawning fighters either.
Reporting.
Awaiting.
So it's
your
not
orders.
necessarily the single unit retreat ability that's not working.
Awaiting your command.
It's something in the main
Waiting
script for
orders.
the
Copy. Changing course to intercept.
generic object library.
Take out the iron cannons.
Oh, Havens have decided to come in.
Commander. The lasers are our target. Reporting in.
Alright, we might have to end up dealing with the Hapens here.
Heading out.
If they don't decide to stick with a retreat, then we're gonna have to fight all the Hapens.
Choose your reinforcements.
Turn around. And...
Choose your
Taking him
reinforcements.
out.
Proceeding. Moving out. En route. Lancer frigate ready.
Roger that. Form up. Destroyer
any of these
here.
the patron units? I
Copy.
don't think so.
I copy. Reporting.
Alright, so they do want to leave.
All gun crews report in.
Bye, Hapens.
Star Destroyer standing by.
Oh, they actually had that was the swamp speeder thing there. Alright. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode, so thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the playthrough so far. A couple of things that I'm going to look into for next episodes. We're going to look at the health, probably among other things, for the Hailfire tanks. I'm going to look at the game object script to see what's making it fail sometimes. And something else that I'll remember when oh right, the build limits on the patron units. So thanks again for watching, everyone. Our next episode is going to be tomorrow. So this is typically going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday for the upload schedule. We're going to alternate with Republic at War, and we've also got Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy going on. But thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.